fact that we are not providing a world-class education to every single child in America. Because I live on the south side of Chicago, and I drive by and walk by young men and increasingly young women on the street corners every single day, without prospects for the future, without a vision for where their life might take them other than prison. And they look like me. They could be my children. They could be my brothers. And I don't accept that we can't teach them. They are not those kids. They aren't somebody else's kids. They are our kids. And that's why we are going to recruit a new army of teachers from all across the land. And we are going to pay every teacher more money. And we are going to give them the kind of training they need. And we're going to work with them, not against them, to raise standards in the schools. And we are going to make early childhood education available for every child that needs it to close the achievement gap. And while we're at it, we're going to make college affordable and accessible to every young person in America. And part of the way we're going to do that is cut out the middlemen, take the banks out of it, take the financial institutions out of it, take those billions of dollars of profits and give it directly to students. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to give opportunities for service to young people all across America. It is a noble thing that our young men and women are serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. They have performed magnificently. They have done everything that's been asked of them. And rightly and justifiably, we say if you serve our country, we're going to help you pay for your college education. But there are other ways of serving as well. I want to say, if you teach in an inner city school, we're going to help you with your college tuition. If you want to be a nurse, we're going to help you with your college tuition. If you want to be a social worker, we're going to help you with your college tuition. If you want to go into the Peace Corps or the State Department, if you want to learn Arabic, we are going to help you with your college tuition. I don't accept that we have to continue to send $800 million every single day, helping to fuel the war on terrorism because of our addiction to foreign oil and melting the polar ice caps in the bargain. I know 65 degrees in late October is nice, but there are profound implications, moral implications for future generations to what we're doing right now. We know what we have to do. We have to cap the emission of greenhouse gases. We've got to increase our use of renewable fuels. We've got to focus on renewable energy sources like solar and wind and biodiesel. We've got to increase fuel efficiency on cars. If we increased fuel efficiency to 40 miles per gallon, we would save the equivalent of all the oil we import from the Persian Gulf. Imagine what that would do for our environment, for our economy, but also for our foreign policy. And when I made this proposal, by the way, to increase fuel efficiency standards, I didn't do it in front of some environmental groups in California. I went to Detroit, in front of the automakers. And I have to say the room, Deval, was really quiet. Nobody clapped. But that's okay, because part of what you should want from your next president is not just somebody who's going to tell you what you want to hear. You need somebody who's going to tell you what you need to hear. You need somebody who's going to tell you the truth. That's the least you can expect from the next president of the United States of America. Most of all, I don't accept that there is a contradiction between our moral standing in the world on one hand and our safety and security on the other. Those two concepts are not contradictory, they are complementary. They go hand in hand. You know, I have said since 2002 we should have fought this war, and we need to bring this war to a close. We have to be as careful getting out as we were careless getting in. But we can get our combat troops out safely. 1 to 2 brigades a month, we can have them out in 16 months. We need to start now. We need to persuade the Congress to stop giving George Bush a blank check. But if we don't do it now, one thing I can promise is the first thing I will do as President of the United States is gather together the Joint Chiefs of Staff and say, you've got a new mission. A mission that's going to make us safer, and that is to start bringing our troops home. Because we're going to start focusing on diplomacy. We're going to start focusing on humanitarian assistance. We're going to change the paradigm in the Middle East.